To drug abuse. There's a new law on the books here in New York to help fight the heroin and opioid addiction crisis in the Empire State. Today, the governor is here in Buffalo for the signing of that legislation. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ed Riley is live with more on the story.
Well, Keith, it was a packed house here at Evergreen Commons as lawmakers, heroin task force members, and community leaders all gathered to watch Governor Cuomo sign the state's new legislation that will combat opioid abuse. The legislation is the result of a task force that was put together by Governor Cuomo. It went across the state seeking input on how to deal with the growing heroin opioid epidemic. The recommendations were passed last week in the state legislature. Under the new law, opioid prescriptions will be limited from 30 days to 7 days. With exceptions for chronic pain patients. It also requires doctors to receive mandatory training on the dangers of opioids. The law forces insurance companies to pay for treatment for those suffering from addiction. It also allows families to seek 72 hours of treatment for someone who overdoses. And it will make available more beds for inpatient treatment. The governor said doing nothing was not an option because the opioid crisis is becoming the worst health care problem in decades.
And it is truly, truly a frightening and staggering increase. We're losing as many people to heroin and opioid overdoses as we lost to the AIDS epidemic at its peak. That's how bad this is.
The governor admits that this is just a first step, and the new regulations will be monitored to see if more needs to be done. Now, the governor also took time to mention all the parents who lost children to the opioid epidemic, and they continue to fight for these changes. He especially mentioned Julie and Avi Israel, whose son Michael committed suicide after becoming addicted to pain medications. Afterwards, Julie Israel told me that she felt her son's spirit played a big role in getting this legislation passed so others did not have to suffer. Live in Buffalo, Ed Riley, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Ed. This video just into our news.